So today I'm going to do just a quick video on and try to explain cutting straight lines, and also we're going to cut a circle, talk about that also, but the main thing is cutting straight lines on a scroll saw. If you sit down and line your wood up straight with the blade, which I have pretty much right here, I'm hoping everything turns out good enough where y'all can see this and get a good enough view on the camera. And if I just start pushing this wood straight forward, and you think it's going to cut on that black line, you're in for a rude awakening, because it's not going to cut straight on that black line. It's going to go off at an angle. What I've done here is I've drawn a black line down the center of this board at 90 degrees. So it's a straight line down the center of the board. And then I've come in here with red lines, and they are 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees, and 5 degrees. There's actually 5 red lines. And they transect through the middle of this black line, and they're over here on the other side of the black line at the end. So what I'm going to attempt to do is to cut straight down this black line, and what I hope you will notice is that due to the design of the blade, the way it's manufactured, actually most of these blades are stamped out due to a burr on the back and the kerf. They naturally cut at an angle. And so what I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to film today, and that's the reason I've drew these red lines on here each off, is so that you can actually see once I start cutting that I'm actually having to steer or turn the wood in order for me to follow this line. The blade's going to stay in the same place. It's not moving. But I'm going to have to steer this wood at an angle in order for that blade to cut a straight line, due to the fact the way the blade's manufactured. So I'm hoping this will turn out. Let's give it a try. I'm going to try my best to stay out of the camera angle. I'm using another number 3 Flying Dutchman ultra reverse blade, and this is just cheap 3/4 inch standard pine wood. Okay, I got off of the line a little bit, not too terribly bad, but yet what I wanted you to see is exactly this. Notice the angle of the wood, and if I was to eyeball straight down, I know you can't see by the camera, but if I was to eyeball this straight down, I'm almost at about 3, almost 4 degrees off of the straight line. In other words, this the third line here, 1, 2, 3, is pretty well straight with my blade going all the way through that I'm looking at it. I know you can't hardly see it on the camera angle, but yet I'm trying real hard to stay with this black line. Sorry I can't do any straighter, but I don't have my magnifying light, and my eyes aren't as good as they used to be able to see this far away without my magnifying light. So, but the point is you have to steer your wood or angle your wood in order to cut a straight line on a scroll saw. You can't just feed it in here straight like this. It has to be in an angle. And like I said, once again, this is about 3, if I eyeball this down with the blade, it is about 3 degrees off the blade on an angle on the top of my table. So that's just a little quick pointer for, especially for y'all that are just learning how to cut on a scroll saw. If you lay your wood down and try to cut straight, and you notice, hey, I can't keep it on the line, it's not cutting very straight. If you watch this video, you will now know what is happening, and you will be able to correct that and steer your wood and be able to cut a straight line. So that has to deal with straight lines. Let's try it with a circle next. Okay, I've just drawn a circle on this piece of 3/4 inch pine, once again using the same number 3 Flying Dutchman. And what I'm going to attempt to do is just follow the circle and let the you watch as I go around. You still have to deal with the fact of the blade not wanting to cut actually straight when you're cutting circles, so that still has a way of how to determine to steer your wood, so to speak. But it's not quite as bad as with cutting a straight line. The main thing when you're cutting circles is to remember you're controlling the feed rate by pushing the wood against the blade. The blade's stationary. So just take your time, slow down, don't be in a rush, try to follow the line, and you'd be surprised with a little bit of practice how actually good you can cut a circle on a scroll saw. It's not impossible and it's not hard to do. It just takes patience, time, and practice in order to be able to do it. So there we have it. Probably not the straightest circle I've ever cut. By drawing it on, the pencil line was not so great down here on the bottom of the circle. So, but I hope you were able to see and get a good idea of really how straight and accurate. That's a pretty straight, pretty nice circle. Not the best I've ever done, but yet not the worst. Also, if your blade is nice and straight and perpendicular to the table, you should be able to put the circle back in, and you should be able to take it out the other side without any problem.